Okay guys, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a lot different than what I previously posted on the channel. It's not a vlog, it's not a day in the life, it's nothing fancy. We are December 1st today, last month of 2025. For some of you who do follow me, if you are watching this video on YouTube, you know that I'm a huge planner, whether it's a to-do list, whether it's writing things down, with a pen and paper, or whether it's what I'm about to show you, my monthly planner. I posted this numerous times on my Instagram stories, pretty much every month, every week. I probably done it like 3 to 4 times now, and I've got some great feedback, and people, seem to not be doing this. And I want to show you, take you step by step, because I'm about to do my December month. So I waited until today. Usually I do it the day before the month begins to get everything written down, start December 1st knowing what I have upcoming and all that. But I wanted to wait until December 1st, start off a clean slate for you guys, and just record and film and show you exactly what I do to kind of plan my month, and why this thing behind me is super helpful. And for $40 or $50, whatever I bought it for on Amazon, was a good, huge game changer and investment on my part. So yeah, essentially what's behind me right here is a huge monthly calendar. It's probably like 4 feet by 2 feet, 4 feet by 2.5 feet, something like that. And it's a whole month right here. It's a dry erase, so I got my markers here in hand. I got obviously my erasers. I've had it for about, I think, probably a year now. Yeah, a year. It's going to be a year actually in January. So I had this pretty much all of 2025, and it's super helpful. So yeah, I just want to take you with me to do my monthly board, my monthly calendar, show you how I plan out my stuff, why it's important, what it does for me, the ROI of doing this and having this. And yes, this size of board is super helpful. I want to be able to wake up in the morning, come into my office, look at my wall, and pretty much just see this like 24/7. I don't want like a little, calendar, because, the brain, your mind, your eyes don't see it the same way as if it were taking up the whole wall in your office. So that's the reasoning. Obviously there's bigger, but I was like, if it's bigger, I just can't reach the top and I can't like write everywhere. So this is pretty good. So yeah, obviously December. So I'm also going to color code a lot of things. So I got some red, green, blue, black, and then I got a fine black dry erase marker right here that I'm going to use to obviously write down all my, essentially my daily tasks or my daily to-dos in each square, just because it's cleaner and a lot better to write with a thinner one right there. And then these ones here, if you see, they're a bit thicker. So for things like important posts that I need to do, or events, family gatherings, obviously the month, the days of the month, I'm going to be using these markers. So I'll be going with these colors too. I have orange also, and I think like yeah, I don't know what other color, but I'm just going to go with this. I don't want to have too many colors either, and I don't see it as a necessity. So before we do begin, again, I highly suggest you do this. Start getting into planning. Get into, if you prefer doing like physical handwriting on a board with like a pen and paper style, I really prefer it than anything digital. Not that I discount the digital part, but I want to also emphasize and put time towards the pen and paper physical type of planner as well. So on this board, we're going to first start off by obviously writing the month. And it's, the holiday season, Christmas is about to come, so you could probably guess it right away. Yes, I'm going to be using red to write out the month, so December 2025, and then I'm going to write down all the numbers in each one of the squares right here on the board that corresponds with the day of the week. So we got on the board here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all the way to Saturday. I essentially start each week on Monday, and then I'll break it down and tell you guys essentially how I go about this. So we'll write December in big right here. Crazy how it's it is the last month of the year. Yes, I love to write all in capitals. So December 2025. Make it nice, clean. Sometimes I even write the month here, the year, and then a quote that goes along with it. So yeah, December 2025. So now I'm going to take out my phone. So now what's fun about this month is that the first of the month actually begins on the Monday. So that's always fun. I love when that happens. So we'll just write down all the numbers here. And yes, there's a lot of writing and a lot of like doing, you know, it's not going to just take you 5 minutes to plan all of this out every month. However, when you really break it down, sure, it takes a lot of time. However, when you break it down, you're only doing this 12 times in the year. And that's what's crazy about the planner like this, is that when you start to see everything like from a third person bird's eye view type thing, you come to realize that like 365 days is not a lot of days. You only have 12 months. Obviously, you know that. But like when you see it from a bird's eye view overhead, when you're looking at the board, you're like, shit, like that's the whole month. So like, yes, it may sound a lot in your mind, like from the 1st to the 31st. But when you look at it from this perspective, you're like, wow, I only have, 4 Sundays. I only have this amount of days. Like, it's not that much. It's really insane how like when you see it from this perspective on your board versus like just in your mind, it's crazy how you're like, whoa, it's not that much. That's always fascinating to me. And that's one of the other reasons why I wanted to start doing this for 2025, was for that reason also. And also, when you break down things like, how many times you see X person in the year, or how many times you do this specific thing in the year, like when you come to realize it, like on the span of like 5 years, you're like, wow, like I see this person maybe 12 times in 5 years. I maybe do this specific thing 17 times in 5 years. And when you really break it down like that, you're like, whoa, like I got to utilize my time properly, create organization, balance, and really emphasize what you really want to do in your life and where you want to kind of spend your energy and time. So it's very helpful to have this. So we got the days of the month. I'm dropping my markers here. So we got the days written out. Now, people always ask me, like, especially my clients, they'll ask, oh, what do you put on this monthly calendar if you also have to-do lists? Because I do also have and make my to-do list weekly. On this board, the whole goal, or one of the core reasons why you want a monthly planner like this, is because you want things to look forward to. You don't want to just wake up and kind of like, twiddle your thumbs like this, or have your hands in your pocket. It's always nice to have things to look forward to. And going back to what I just said, you want to really like put energy towards the things that you actually want to do and spend time on. So on this board, I put things that I want to obviously look forward to. Obviously, I'll put things of like my to-do list, but that's kind of separate, because I don't want to come back to this board and like, exit out or check mark it or whatever. I just want this board to kind of guide me, to structure me, to help me to look forward to things like I just said, to also just create balance, and to fill up some days that are probably empty. In my mind, I'm probably like, yeah, I'm super busy or whatnot. But when you really implement what you have to get done and do on this board, then you're really able to utilize all of like your life minutes to the best of their abilities. I'm not saying, you have to have your foot on the gas pedal, straight to 100, like work. This board is everything: work, personal life, personal chores or to-dos, things that you want to look forward to, hobbies, all of it goes on here, so that this thing right here has the least amount of overhead on this. You want to take all the thinking, the overhead off of your brain, off of like your head, so that you could just like grab it, throw it on this board to alleviate pressure from this thing. Because if you have too much overhead, you're just going to end up freezing, not knowing what to do. You're not going to be balanced. You're going to be skipping workouts. You're going to be skipping this, doing too much of this, all of that. So this is very helpful, kind of like an assistant, if you will, or a structural assistant. I put everything on here, whether it's, and I'll retract. Every Sunday, I want to, and I try to emphasize that Sunday is my reset day. So Sunday is like, you know, where I shave, where I have to prepare, say, social media posts, where, you know, I have to prepare my to-do list for the upcoming week, where I have to make sure that all my clients' plans and programs are up to date for the week, because Sunday is also check-in day. So Sunday is usually my reset day and refresh day, if you will. So like I said earlier, when you look at the board, I only have 4 of these, and then the month is over. So that's crazy. Like, you only have 4 Sundays, and then boom, the month is over, and then soon it's gonna be 2026. That's nuts. So, and then when you see it like this, you're like, oh my God, like when you're at the second Sunday, you're like, I only have 2 more, I'm almost there. Like, it's crazy how time flies. So I'm 31, and obviously I want to utilize all of my, you know, time to the best of my abilities. So kind of emphasize that. So I'm also putting on this board my client calls, any appointments I have, things that I want to get done, all of it. And then at the bottom, we have a notes section here. So on the notes section, we'll put maybe things that you want to accomplish, goals that you have, all of the above. So let's get going here. So I'll actually start off with all the Sundays. And I always usually write down the same stuff from one month to the other, like for my Sundays, because that's like my core. Those are like my non-negotiable, like things that I just cannot change. I'll also write on the board like take out garbage, take out recycling, just because those are things that are always going to remain for, you know, until I'm here. So we start with those, and then after that we add in the things that are like appointments or things that don't occur, you know, every single month. So okay, so the lighting is changing because I'm kind of battling time with the natural lighting outside, because it does get darker earlier. So hopefully we get to finish this well without any interruptions about the lighting, and hopefully everything is good visually. So let's get to it. So Sundays, I will write on each Sunday, I'm gonna write shave. So I know that every Sunday I want to start the week off fresh, obviously feeling good, looking clean, I'm ready for the week. So I know on Sundays I'm going to shave. Does that mean throughout the week I won't be shaving? No. But Sunday I want it to be a reset. So I know that I want to prepare some social media posts. So I'm going to be writing that down. Okay, so I wrote that down. Then I also have to check what's passing in terms of like recycling or garbage here at my house. So I want to make sure I take that out because they always pass every Monday. So I'm going to be alternating. So take out recycling, so it'll be out the day before, and then alternate to garbage, because here they alternate, so every 2 weeks they pass. So I'm writing that down. Okay, so we essentially wrote down shave, threads, posts, which I have to prepare for social media, take out recycling, garbage, alternating every Sunday. Now, and I'm maybe going to try to speed things up and kind of like write things down and then re-explain it just to save some time, because obviously you'll be here until next week with me. Now I have a few clients that already booked their calls for this week. So obviously today I didn't fill it out, but there was stuff today that I, you know, had planned, but for the sake of the video, I wanted to do this whole video record on the first today, like clean month, clean board. So I'm actually going to get writing on this for today. So I have a call at 4:30 later on. Wednesday I have a call at, so I'm writing down all my calls essentially that I have upcoming, and usually my clients will book it pretty much like 48 hours or the week prior for the next week. So that's always good, because then I could plan it out on my end and then work things around. So those are my client calls for this week. And then I can't see next week's, but they're probably going to get booked after this week. I think like Fridays and Tuesdays or Wednesdays is usually when I have the most calls. Monday I usually have like maybe a couple, 2. So wrote that down. Now I also want to include on this board hobbies, things that I want to do, because again, going back to what I said earlier, I don't want this monthly planner to only be like work stuff. So from TV shows you want to watch, or like I'm huge into hockey and that sport, also UFC. So I want to put like all of that scheduling on there as well. So like the schedule of let's say the Montreal Canadiens, which is the team I watch, and then all the UFC events, everything goes on this board. So I'm like, oh, okay, Saturday there's UFC, Tuesday there's a hockey game, Tuesday night there is a hockey game, blah blah blah. So I want all that on there. So now what we're going to do is I pull up, say, the Montreal Canadiens schedule, and then I go through that. So I always know the games are usually at night, so I always try to put it like in accordance with the time. So obviously I don't want something that's at 7 o'clock at the top of my square here. I want it to kind of flow and make sense. And this is not time blocking either, because a lot of people get confused about this monthly planner, that they might think of it as like time blocking. You don't want to start doing a schedule and time blocking on this. You just want to put things that you look forward to, that you have to attend to, and that you kind of need to know that you have to do. So it's not, I don't want to see like 9 a.m. to 9:30 this, 9:30 to 10 this, 10 to 12 that, like, you're going to kill yourself. That doesn't make sense at all. You want to at least to start with the core of things, and then maybe as you go along, if you want to do time blocking, prepare it like for Sunday. Sit down on Sunday for like the day after, or like the 3 next days or something like that, and go and micromanage that time blocking aspect of it if you do want to do it like that. So here we go. I'll write Habs at 7. Okay, so I got all the hockey games here transcribed on my monthly calendar. Now, also another thing is every Monday, again, as another hobby, we like to watch something that is called Kill Tony. So we watch that on YouTube every Monday, and we are Monday today, so thinking that there is one tonight. So I'm going to put that on there. It's a bit later, so KT at 9. So that's something to do. I obviously don't try to work on my computer at that time because I just don't want to be in front of my screen and in front of my computer sitting down that late. Boom, so that's written there. Now, this is where we start to color code with the red one. We're gonna go with the red one. And now, obviously it's holiday season, so on the 24th and the 25th, I know that we have family gatherings on those 2 days for Christmas, so I'm gonna already write it right there. So I know that on those days, I know what's to come. I know those 2 days are reserved and all for that. So now on the 27th, it's Anna and I's, she's right here filming some B-roll, 8th year, which is completely crazy, just that coming out of my mouth. It's our 8th year anniversary together. So obviously I'm going to write that down. So I know that that's on the 27th. So obviously that day is going to be reserved. Now that I know too, it falls on a Saturday, so that's pretty fun also. And then the day after, it's a reset day, so that's nice. Then the 31st, I know it's New Year's Eve, so actually I'm not going to use red because we're going into a new year. We're going to use green. No reason really, I just have blue and green, so write New Year's Eve here. Write that down. That's the bulk of like the things. And obviously too, like, look, I'm doing this a month prior for the whole month, but again, as the weeks go on, I'm going to add things. Another thing too is every Wednesday and every Sunday, that's where I'm going to be writing with blue. Every Wednesday and every Sunday, I want a YouTube video to go up. So we're going to be writing that down as well. So we're just going to write here, YouTube. So y.t every Wednesday, every Sunday. So I know that there's a video that will be and should be going up. Ooh, I'm going to have a special video on Christmas Eve. So there we go. YouTube video every Wednesday, YouTube video every Sunday. That tallies up to 8 videos in the month. However, I want to probably hit 10 this month. I don't know where those 2 others are going to come in, but they will somehow. I know I could get it done. I'll probably place them as the weeks go on and as I film. So I put that in there. Now, another thing is I want every Wednesday to be a shooting day for content. So I want to reserve every Wednesday of the week, which is essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days this month where I am shooting content. So I want to be able to reserve, know that my brain the week prior is like, okay, I know on Wednesday I got to shoot content. On the Monday or Tuesday, we're going to plan out the content. So I'm ready for the Wednesday, shave if I need to, and get my batteries charged, everything organized and planned for Wednesday. So we're going to write that here also. So we'll write shooting day. And this could be, you know, from shooting for my personal brand or for some UGC content for companies or collaborations that I have to get done. So it just facilitates the productivity, and you kind of, it's a lot better mentally. And I'm not saying like that this whole month can't be moved around a bit if ever something spontaneous does come into play. You know, I'm human. Sometimes I might be super tired or whatnot. But one thing I've learned this year is that when I look at boards like this, I can't pile too much stuff in one day thinking I'm like Superman where I could get everything done. Because I found that with the previous months, it kind of was that. I was like, oh, look, it's the beginning of the month, first of the month. I'm writing all this stuff down. And then when a day would come up, I'm like, I can't get everything done. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And then sometimes you wake up, you want to shoot specific content, and then you go outside and it's like a rainy day and you're like, damn, I wasn't expecting this. So you kind of have to pivot and adjust. So the goal for this month, and then obviously 2026, is to not pile up each square too much, because then you're just, it's not good. I don't want to do that. And I'd rather work 80% all month long and all year long and be super consistent and super productive than 100% for 2 weeks and then being dead for the following week where I wouldn't be productive. So Wednesday's shooting day. In order to be prepped for that Wednesday, on Tuesday, the day before, we will plan content. So I'm going to write out, and again in green because it correlates to the shooting day. So plan content. We are going to move on to more so some little daily kind of things such as workouts. So obviously like workouts I won't put on a to-do list because it's not something where I like need to write the week prior like work out 5 times and then at the end of the week write check. Like it doesn't really work like that, because I wouldn't write like brushing teeth on my to-do list. You know, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, we're going to start on the 2nd. So I really always loved doing 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off, and so on in terms of my workouts, whether it was like weightlifting, cardio, or whatnot. I always love that because it gives me sufficient amount of time to rest. I'm not, you know, killing myself all week and then doing nothing during the weekend. So 3 days on, 1 day off, or even like 2 days on, 1 day off was very good as well. And you tend to create a lot of consistency, and that compounds over time to be able to look at your year and be like, damn, like I stayed consistent all year long through each season. So that's always key. We're going to obviously write here on Tuesday workout. And if I can, I want to try to optimize getting my workout done in the morning. So here we'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then you see when holidays comes here, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to really emphasize doing a workout on the 24th or the 25th. So I'm going to want to prioritize doing my workouts like prior and right after to compensate those 2 lost days. So that comes in handy. So again, the week prior, we'll just write workout. And along with my Sunday reset, we also have a sauna here, ice bath, and a whole setup, which you could probably see in the other videos that I posted on this channel. So on the Sunday reset, and that doesn't mean that this is the only day that we'll be doing saunas moving forward, but I know that on the Sunday, I really want to do sauna sessions to be able to finish my week and start the week off fresh and feeling good. And Sunday, it's usually like a complete off day. When I say reset day, it's pretty much off and just like enjoying the day, so to speak, and getting everything organized and planned. So on each Sunday, I'm going to write sauna session. We are filling this up slowly. It's looking clean. It's looking nice. Check that out right there. So everything is color coded too. You know, certain things pop up more than others, which is what I really want. Because if there's certain deadlines or certain dates I want to respect and aim for, or have posts go up or things like that, well, that's where the color of these markers come in handy a lot. So we want to use those to our advantage, because the brain, if all it's seeing is like black or just straight up like dark blue, well, it's not really compartmentalizing. I don't know if I'm saying that word properly, but it's not like categorizing certain things that you need to get done subconsciously. So you don't want to just stick to one color. You want to be able to have your brain look at something like this and kind of categorize each thing from your eyes to your brain, if that makes sense. You don't want to just like stare at it and be like, what am I looking at? What is it looking for? You want to know as soon as you look at your board, oh, I see everything that's green. Right away, I'm like, it's related to content. Boom. When I'm looking at blue, I know that it's about YouTube. When I'm looking at red, I know that it's about like my December, my holidays. So you see what I'm saying? You kind of want to do something like that so that your brain kind of gets triggered right away. So yeah, I'm going to continue filling this up, add up everything I want to in there. I also want to do certain things, like tomorrow we want to go grab our Christmas tree on our land. So I'm going to use red. I'm going to write Xmas tree because I know that we will be going to do that. Now, say for example, there's a snowstorm that hits next week. Well, obviously the day, like I'm going to write on the calendar maybe the following 2 days for me to go past the snowblower or the tractor or something. Like there's things that get added on depending on like the environmental things or the exterior things that you cannot control and that just pop into your schedule. And also on the board, and like I said earlier in the video, I want to add things on these monthly calendars and monthly planners to where I want to look forward to things. So from maybe even scheduling trips or scheduling like spa days for yourself, or like maybe like date nights or things like that. Like you could shove all of that on the monthly planner. So again, it's super helpful for me. It's something that alleviates overhead, which is key. You want to alleviate the most amount of overhead on your brain. You'll be able to sleep better, perform better, do your daily tasks a lot cleaner and clearer. So the monthly planner is super useful, and there's a positive ROI to this. I'm telling you, it's helped me just productivity, feel better, income wise, also balance too. We all strive, well, I'm hoping, when I say all, if you're watching this video, I'm hoping that you're in a position where like you just want to progress, you want to get better, you want to improve your life. And that's the same thing for me too. I'm not doing everything perfectly at 100%, but if you're doing it at 80 rather than at 20 and doing 80 for a long period of time consistently, that's key. So again, I would highly invest in one of these if I were you. That's how I go about doing my monthly planner. Again, shove everything on there. I'm going to be adding some things. I still have like the UFC stuff to add. I'm going to add more workout stuff, things that, we want to plan a trip for 2026. So I know that this month I want to get that figured out. So I'm going to kind of figure out what day is best to kind of reserve and sit down and plan that for that trip. That's essentially how I go about doing this monthly planner. So this video is probably a bit longer than I anticipated, and it's a video that's totally different. I was just like, I'm doing this one last time for 2025. I'm like, I don't know if this is even gonna get like views, to be honest. And I'm like, the video is so raw. It's like just me here in front of my wall and like this thing. So hopefully it does help some of you out. I do know that it'll help some of you out because I did get some feedback of when I do post it each month. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section below. I'll be happy to help, give you my advice, give you my 2 cents about whatever it is that you're asking about. And if you want to know more about my monthly planner or the things that I do insert into my monthly planner, let me know again. And if you like this video, if you made it to the end, give it a thumbs up. It's going to help me a ton for my channel. It's going to just put it back into gear, into motion, and hopefully get more eyeballs on a video like this to help more people out. And if you're new to this channel video, if you stumble upon this and you've made it this far in this video and you're still listening to me speak, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know. Keep me posted. Let's have a amazing 2025, finish off the year so that we can carry on that momentum into 2026. It's very important, very, very important. This is one last thing. It's very important that your 2025, especially the second half, the end of the year, the holidays, the New Year's Eve, and all that stuff, you want to make sure that you're carrying on momentum into 2026, because it's the time of the period where there's more family gatherings, there's more, unhealthy foods that may be present and all that stuff. So you want to really emphasize working well, being consistent throughout 2025 and the end of December, so that you can carry that momentum into 2026, beginning of January. You don't want to start January like hungover, or, again, going back to twiddling your thumbs or having your hands in your pockets and being like, oh, like, what the hell do I do now? I have a whole year in front of me. You don't want to do that. You absolutely not want to do that. You want to start before 2026 and get started right now, build up that momentum so that when 2026 does come into play, you're ready. You're already 50% ahead of everyone and ahead of what you were initially supposed to be at. That's where real success comes in. You'll feel better, you'll feel more organized, and you'll have a lot less overhead in your mind, and you'll be able to enjoy life a lot more with all this balance. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully this video helped out.